All right, so one of the viewers, I believe his name's Kirk, asked, how do we go about creating smooth, steady band areas on a rough surface part if you can't run your steady rest against it in the first place, and especially if you cannot get your center drill, your live center into a center drilled hole in the end of the part? And that is an excellent question. So the first part of that answer is not an answer to your question at all. It's just how I usually get away with doing this, and that is I would take, if the part cannot be self-supported in the chuck like it is here, it's a nice big long heavy part, we use our center finding head on a ruler and just scribe 2 lines, cross, center punch, and then put a center drill in there with a hand drill and get the workpiece into the lathe, and then push the the tailstock down the bed extension. The lathe actually ends there, and then there's a shop-made bed extension that carries on way down here to the wall, which allows me to put about 17 feet between centers, which gets me out of the, gets me into business about 99.9% of the time. It's very rare indeed that I have to make parts that are longer than that. Just lucky me, I guess. If I do, how I tackle that is I put a spider over the part. So a spider here is just a sort of single row of bolts, and slides over the part and zeroed up. We would make one of these only with a ring of bolts on each end, let's say. So we've got a long spider, if you will. Turn a smooth surface just in that location there, drill 4 holes, and drill and tap 4 holes on each side. So 4 there, 4 there. That gets slid over this rough part, and you set the spider up as best you can in alignment on that part, so it's not, twisted crazy one direction or the other, and you want to get it into whatever orientation you want. So the center axis of this is either directly at that center axis there, or if you are trying to offset to allow for an oddball shape or a bend, then you take that into account, set it up however you want, use the usual machine shop measuring tools. Any of the above will work. And once the spider is attached to your rough part, you can then load the part into the machine, and the spider is what bears against the steady rest. If you're really stuck for clearance, one could use a very thin wall sort of tube, not even bother with the drilled and tapped holes, and then bore the tube to just a slight interference fit over the rough surface, and then just heat shrink that on and set everything up. Turn your first steady band into the actual material, and then end for end the part and remove the sweat on sort of sleeve there, and that would work too. I do it so infrequently that the last spider I made got so rusty and disgusting that I've discarded it. And hopefully I'll have an excuse to make a full life-size version again here in the near future, and I'll probably try to use this methodology when I don't have to, but just as an example. But that's not going to be tonight. Last but not least, if you're making a spider to do this trick, make the spider a bit on the long side so that the bolts will clear your steady rest and you don't have, you're not too constricted there. So hopefully that answers your question. And there's a bunch of different ways you could make this nicer and better clearance and all those sort of things, but use your imagination. Maybe somebody's got some pictures or video that they want to post up there about those sort of ideas. And again, thanks for watching, and thanks for the question. I just love questions.